everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday night open question and answer session. Let's see. This is the answer to Dean Missimer's question. Where is this guy? He's here, exactly where he needs to be. Hello, everybody. Welcome. And let's see. Let's see what kind of comments we got here, because I got quite the peanut gallery. I guess Bill is only taking a break from his non-contemporary. Tutorial, believe me. This has been a subject of discussion. Exactly what do you mean taking a break, Bill? You wouldn't believe how many behind the scenes discussions there are about exactly what it means to take a break. I've got plans. We're going to make this work. So hello, everybody. Just going through all of the chats here, keeping up. And this is live, by the way, on Instagram and on the Chameleon Academy YouTube, our live Chameleon Academy live YouTube channel. So we are simulcasting because we've got the technology to do that. And by the way, we've got these programs that will do simulcasting. We're not there yet. So I literally have an iPhone and a computer. So Matthew says, hope all is okay. It is okay. It is great. Although I got to tell you, my brain's been mush since the Saturday was the season finale of season 10, 6-hour live session. And my brain has not re-engaged since then. So I'm just slowly getting back into the groove of everything. But I got Madagascar coming up real soon, so I better get into the groove. He's stuck at hair and makeup. Yeah, can you tell? Little bit wild, little bit chaotic. So, all right. Okay. All right. Sold a couple of feeders. Martian sold a couple of feeders. Excellent. Hey, we've got Yvette here. Misty Mountain fans. I like her. A lot. Ben says, love the 6-hour show. Thank you very much for watching and being there. I loved it as well. But afterwards, I just went, boom. We went to an event, a social event. And I just kind of sat on the sofa, the little seating area, and I stared off into the distance. See, Alicia saying, "Hey guys, I don't think the Chameleon kids have the same appetite as they did during the summer months. Do they get the winter blues like I do? Yes, they do. When things cool down, they slow down, and everything. Like chameleons haven't evolved to say, okay, wait a minute, the days are getting really shorter." They get a little bit shorter in Madagascar, but they're much closer to the equator than we are. There is like a couple of hours difference, but it's generally our winters. There is some coolness, even if we have central heating and such. So they detect it. All right. Eric says, almost done rewatching the 6-hour extravaganza. Yeah, it's good for rewatching. Let's see. A couple of whiskeys will do it. Thank you very much, Matthew King, for your advice. And Alex is saying, any advice in helping a chameleon heal its tongue? Oh, tongue issues with chameleons. This is tough. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of things that could cause an issue with a chameleon's tongue. Nutrition, physical trauma. And so the important thing is to figure out what caused it. Now, that's very easy for me to say it here. For me to then give you a list of what to check to figure out what's wrong, that's a little bit more difficult. So, if you see the thing is, through things like if they just overextend it, or they sprain something, or they're just it's something small, rest. They may not work. It may not work for a couple of days. Give them rest. and then they sometimes just snap back. If you're chameleon and you have the kind of relationship, you can hand feed them. And I don't mean pry open their mouth. I mean, take a cricket or something, put it up next to them. And as they open their mouth and their tongue starts to come out, instead of making them shoot their tongue, which doesn't work for whatever reason, you just gently put the cricket on the tongue and then they bring it back in as if they shot it. So that's a way to feed them if you have that relationship with a chameleon. And it's like 50-50 with me. I have lots of chameleons. Some of them will do that. Some of them won't. I had one that kept shooting its tongue and not being able to hit anything. And I was really worried, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? And I don't see any physical trauma. I don't know what's going on. It's not MBD, because if metabolic bone disease and the jaw gets misshapen, that's trouble. If there's a vitamin A and their eye gets goopy. See, the actual tongue shooting mechanism requires so much to work that if anything is off, it can affect the tongue. So it's one of the things where if it's nutritional, well, you got to fix the nutrition. If it's MBD, you may never fix it. If it's just a physical trauma, rest. And so you just got to be the detective about it and see if you can figure out what's going on. A vet may be able to help you if they're familiar with chameleons. This is one thing where the vet's got to have some capability to really help that. Let's see. Is it true? Sakshumungu was saying, is it true that if you use roaches as a staple feeder, they might develop uric acid buildup and die? Have you seen it happen? I know people love to say that, and they love to fearmonger. Well, a lot of people use roaches as staple feeders. Have you seen it happen? I have not. The reasons why people say we should be worried about it sound reasonable. But do you see it happening? Maybe it is true that roaches cause uric acid, but there's some other reason why we're not seeing it happen. So I can't answer that. I can only tell you I haven't seen it happen yet. Yeah. See, we in the reptile community, we like to come up with all of these hypotheses and theories, and it's especially nice when we can get everybody scared at something. But I always say, have you seen it happen? Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and deal with these malcontents on YouTube. Speaking, let's see. There's Dean, who watched it on 2x speed. I don't understand you people who can read and watch at 2x speed. My daughter does this. In fact, my daughter and Nate were really big on my app, my podcast app, for me to have the 2x an easy way to change the speed of the app. So you people, I don't understand that. But apparently there's more of you out there. Let's see. Two Turtle Tom says, did we not have giveaways this year, or did those happen during another Bill Merritt? Oh, man, that all happened when you went to the bathroom, man. No, we didn't have giveaways this year because I didn't get organized in time to do it. I was running on fumes up until the end there. I'm not supposed to be talking about what goes on backstage, am I? Oh yeah, it was all about me not being. Next year, man. Next year. So, all right. Going through all of the chats here, trying to catch up with the chats. Oh, Nails by Jesser is asking a question. Is it bad? My chameleon goes down to bed early. He's not asleep, but laying in his bed spot. That is absolutely normal chameleon behavior. Chameleons get very good at figuring out the times. And so if you have a specific time that the lights go off, they will figure that out. And they will go to their sleeping spot before the lights are off, like an hour before the lights are off. And the reason for this is like in the wild, what they do is when the sun starts to go down, well, they want to find their good spot. Well, there's enough light to find that good spot. So that's what they do. And they just hunker down and they're ready for nighttime. So that is completely normal for your chameleon to do. And you say he's not asleep. Well, usually they go to sleep. So if he does start to go to sleep, and you hear us say, and I say this all the time, if your chameleon has their eyes closed during the day, there's a problem. This is true with an asterisk, except if they're just going to bed. So your chameleon is doing normal chameleon behavior. Good job. All right. Let me go through the chat here. Liza Ann says, Steve, I don't know if James told you, but I did not handle my Parsons first brumation well at all. I called James many days in tears. We remember that. I didn't get the phone calls of you in tears, but yes, I remember the stress of your first brumation. Everybody, there are two things that afflict our poor first timers. The first time you ever see a chameleon shed, that is a traumatic event. If you get your perfect little panther chameleon, this is the first time you've seen a chameleon and it sheds for the first time, you are traumatized and you feel that your chameleon exploded. And it's not until you go to your community that they say, no, that's just a shed. That's good. That's good. But that first time you see it, heart goes through the ground. Brumation. First time you get a Parsons chameleon and they go into brumation, that's tough. You are not used to a chameleon not eating for 6 months. So, I mean, okay, they may not go all 6 months, but mine will go for 6 months because I do a lot of outdoor keeping. And so, when it gets cold, it gets cold. By that, I mean like 50s and 40s. I don't live in crazy areas like most of you. I live in Southern California where when I'm wearing a sweater, it means it's getting into the 50s. Yes. So yeah, the first brumation is tough on poor Parsons keepers, but you get used to it. You get used to it. All right. James says, yep, I heard if you don't follow Bill's care sheets, your chameleon will die. No ifs or buts about it. All the good, cool kids are saying that this is correct. You don't follow my care sheets, RI, respiratory infections will happen and they will spread to your family and friends. I'm just kidding, everybody. James is making a joke because he is making a joke about how people generally present their care information. I have a little bit more of a rounded view of things. Nails by Jester says, awesome, thank you. Oh, that was a sleeping chameleon question. How do I get rid of the knots his life plants? Gnats. Different ways to do it. I get a carnivorous plant. I got a pinguicula, a butterwort, and it ate all of the gnats. I'm serious about that. Get a carnivorous plant. Sundews work as well. Just make sure that your chameleon is big enough that it's not going to get caught in the trap. Usually, unless it's a hatchling, it's not a problem. But just make sure. I just got to say that. So that's what I do. Other people have different approaches to it, but that's what I do, and that's what I love. Any excuse I get to include a carnivorous plant in any of my husbandry, I'm going to jump at it. I'm going to do it. So I love the Nepenthes. I love it. Oh, hey, we got Mike Titula here. That's my Madagascar buddy. He's the guy. He is the guy who took the mosquitoes for all of us. Love that guy. Going to be sending the stickers. All right, I'll be watching for it. Good to see you here. All right, let's go to Laura Christine is saying, would it be unusual to see a panther chameleon brewmate in the winter in New York? Ambient temps about 70 to 75 in the reptile room. Panther chameleons aren't known to brewmate. They the brumation is really something that we see in the Kaluma, mostly the Parsons, some of the other Kaluma. Of course, Brady Podian, you go down to South Africa, they're brumate hibernate. I don't know what they're doing. They're hiding under rocks to get away from the snow. But if we're talking about panther chameleons, they don't generally brumate. They'll slow down when it gets cooler. But if you have, well, why are you asking that question? I guess that's what I will ask. I will say no. The panther chameleons generally do not brumate. They will slow down when it gets cooler. But if there's something else behind that question, go ahead and put it down there, and we will go to the next level. See, Anolis of Florida. Can you breed panthers veiled year-round in southern Florida? Yes. I read all your care guides, sheets, and the temperatures out there do not look too optimal, but I see many, many people doing it. Yes. See, my care sheets are not, what I put in the care guides is not what is required for life. What I put in my care guides is the ideal situations. If we could create one day and replicate that day through the entire year, this is what it would look like. Or a lot of times I'll have like 2 days because I have the wet season, the dry season. So, but still, that's 2 days. 1 day for 6 months, 1 day for 6 months. That's not realistic. In reality, our chameleons, reptiles, everything, they have a wide range, tolerance range of what they can live in. I mean, you look at my care guides, that's what we shoot for. But I've kept my my panthers outside in California year round. They get down into the 40s at night. Boy, that's not adhering to the care guides. No, it's not. But they're just fine. They can do that. Now, when we start getting into extremes, we have to start being careful. That's where we have to say, okay, yes, it got down to 45 last night, but it got up to 70 clear skies during the day. Okay. See, once we start getting off of the ideal conditions, we have to start really understanding the consequences of going to their either side of their tolerance ranges. We have to know that, yeah, okay, it's okay if they get cold at night as long as they warm up during the day. But it's not okay that they get into 100 degrees during the day because they'll die within a couple of hours. So the care guide, that's your target. That's what you want to shoot for. But that is not the end all and be all. There's a whole lot more to husbandry than just that. We see your enclosure in the background, the one very fogged up. You want to see that? I have a request to see this. Hey, you want to see all the fog? Let's see. He just got. Things are very dry here right now. Humidity is way down. And so when humidity is way down, I got to make sure that the shamrocks, the Kalumas love their humidity. And so I need to make sure that they are not dried out. Panthers, veils, they can handle the dryness a little bit better, but not the Kaluma. They can handle it, but once again, we're starting to get into their tolerance range, and that's not what I'm here to do. I am here to give them the best I can. I am now getting my chops busted about a Parsons care guide. You know what? I got plans, people. I got plans. Yeah, I've had plans for about a year. What cup do you have today, Bill? I could not be. Oh, okay. We all need to know about the cup. I have the mushroom cup today. For those of you who are new to this, know we have a lot of lore surrounding cups in this community. Today is the mushroom cup, and there is rich lore behind the mushroom cup. That's why people ask. It's important to us. You want an animal that will follow a good routine? Get a chameleon, but not a Parsons. They do what they want when they. Oh. Yeah. Nothing behind the question. Just noticing with less natural light, our chameleons head to bed earlier today. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will adjust. So that's a little bit different than brumation. A brumation is when they go into a state where they don't move throughout the day, and like Parsons, they just won't eat for up to 6 months. What would a tolerable low humidity be for panthers in the morning? In Canada, it's getting dry too. It's 30% in the morning in my enclosure. In the morning, it should be coming off of a very high humidity night. So if you're getting 30% at the night, in the morning, I would say they're going to be thirsty. I mean, that's the end result of the low humidity. They're going to be thirsty. So you got to compensate. You got to make sure that they're misted, or they have a dripper. They have ability to compensate for the moisture that they're losing due to the low humidity. When there's low humidity, moisture is sucked out of your body with your breath. That's just how it works. And the higher the humidity, the less moisture is sucked out of your breath. So the more humidity, moisture they're losing, the more they have to replace. So you just have to make sure that your hydration methods allow that. Morning, I meant during the day. Yeah, well, it's a low during the day. It's okay. 30% is okay during the day, but know that it's getting to the low end. I once did my care guides, and I had 30% during the day, and I realized I got to stop that because people are allowing it to get down to 20%. 30% is okay, 20% is not so much. So not that bad. So I have it at 50, and that's actually a good target. Better there. Okay, morning's still high from the foggy. Okay, good. Is good. Janet is not feeling 100%. Just going to listen to y'all and hang out a bit. Janet, very glad to have you. And you just sit back, relax, and we will entertain you, because we will be entertaining. So Ben says my chameleon goes to a sleeping spot an hour before lights out too. That's a typical chameleon thing. Yeah. Will we have an update in the shamrock chameleon eggs this evening? The update is that they all appear fertile. They're all white. I'm so glad. Oh, Liza, I would handle a pregnancy over doing your first brumation ever again. Eliza Ann's first brumation was rough on her. Very rough on her. I'm weird. Remember your name again. I'm Bill. My name is Bill. If adventure has a name, it's Bill. So, sometimes my guy Parsons will stop eating early 6 months plus, but they make up. Yeah, so that's what Parsons do. They don't eat for however long they're brumating, 4 to 6 months, and then they chow down. 70 degrees is sweater weather. Okay, Marsh is from Georgia. Did Squishy grow now or still tiny? Squishy is growing. Squishy has an outdoor cage because Squishy has outgrown these cages. Is there anyone in the U.S. that captive breeds Jacksons? Off and on. You just gotta keep an eye out for when they have babies, and it's not reliable. There are some. Okay, you saw your fog. I got you the fog. Hello, Nancy. Okay, everybody's saying release the fog. Got the fog out, released. So, all right, I'm just getting through all the chats right here because I get behind. I start answering questions, then I get behind. So, just making sure, because this is a very interactive live session. So I always very interactive with the live. So if you've got a question, put it down. This is actually what Tuesday night is. It's supposed to be the office hours, the open question and answer, to where you guys ask anything. Saturday, I have an agenda. I have a structure. I have slides. I actually dress the part. So It's all formal on Saturday, but on Tuesday it's informal. We do whatever we want to. I dress however I want to. You ask questions, and we all just talk and have a good old time. Oh, got questions? Put it down. That's what we're here for. We all know you're busy. Oh, Eliza, and I'm just so excited to, share with you what I got brewing. Wow, that fog release kind of sucked. What? What do you mean? There was all sorts of fog. What the heck, man? I think everybody's like saying, "Yeah, I've seen that." Let's get it. You need fireworks going off with it. Let's see. Marwan Hammy. New to Chameleon's got 2 carpets. One is still dark, and it's a male. Carpets are a great chameleon. Good job with the carpets. Why did Parsons Chameleon develop the ability to brumate, but not panthers, even though they come from the same country climate? Oh, well, I do not know why Parsons Chameleons developed brumation. And they are very different chameleons as far as their habits. And I mean, they're different genus. One's a first fur, one's a Kaluma, so they are physically different. But the Parsons chameleon just does everything different. I mean, what the heck? Why do we got to go through 2 diapauses to hatch an egg? That doesn't make sense. Brumation, why do they do that? They really don't live in an area which gets hit hard by the dry season. I don't know. I don't know. And yes, they live in an area where there are parsons. There are in the southern tip of the panther range, they do overlap with orange eyes, but that's the rest of the parsons are not with panthers, so, except the Mao green giant, Mosoloa. I need to learn my Malagasy names better. Laura Christine says, I thought the fog was great. Thank you very much. I appreciate being appreciated. At least on Instagram, I'm appreciated. All right. Nate says, looking forward, what is a chameleons that you will be able to say, refer to the Parsons Care Guide, thinking of how you will refer to Jackson's Care Guide panther to other species occasionally? What Nate is talking about is often I say, if you come up with an obscure species, I will say, treat it like a panther, treat it like a Jackson's, and that will get you pretty close to the ballpark. Now, if I have, once the Parsons Care Guide comes up, I will easily say, treat the shamrocks like that. Treat the bifidus like that. Well, I don't know about the bifidus. Bifidus may want a little bit more heat. But definitely the shamrocks. Although I guess, see, the Parsons, they like it cool and wet. And that's a little bit different than the Jacksons that like it cool and wet, but they take heat and UVB. So that's the difference between Jacksons and the Parsons. Parsons really don't want to sit out there and bask and soak up the UVB. So the answer is the shamrock. But you know what? I think you're going to realize I'm going to have a shamrock care guide. I've already started on it, of course. Laura Christine says, do you know why Nosy Bay panther chameleons grow slower and are typically smaller than other panther locales? Just because. I don't think there's a really good reason. And yeah. Umbanjas also are known to grow slowly. But how much of this is just the bloodlines or the individuals that we have here? And how much of this is really the entire population? That's kind of hard to say as well. Yeah. There's Mikey Ben and Marcia nerding out about different 3D printers. I love 3D printers. There's some encouragement. Yay, those eggs are fertile. I just know it. Yeah, so I've got a 27 Shamrock Chameleon eggs, Kaluma Ashonasii, and it is, they are very soon going to be going into brumation, or not brumation, diapause, which is a cooling where I take them down to like 60, 55, somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure out what I'm going to do. But I take it down to there for 6 weeks. And then once they come out, they're going to be going back up to normal room temperatures. And then we all are going to watch every live session. We're going to check on the Shamrock eggs until they hatch. So that's just what we do here. We did that last year with the Brevicorn. That was a lot of fun. So we're going to do it again. Robin has Jacksons. Okay. Robin, where do we have Neon reptiles? Is that it? Is that it? So Nancy Donnie says, hi, Bill. And to that, I say, hi, Nancy. Good to have you here. All right, let's go through the chat, trying to get it to the end here. How do hatchlings survive when they are buried in the ground and have to climb out? How do they breathe? Well, they don't breathe until they get out. Now you're asking, wow, digging out takes a lot of oxygen, and yeah, I don't know how they do that. I'm only assuming that all the nutrients in the yolk help them. I don't know. I guess that's the answer. I don't know. I don't know at what point they need oxygen, and that's a relevant question, because if you use the container method to incubate your eggs, do you have air holes? Eggs don't need it because they're down underground. But what about the babies when they hatch? That's why I always have 1 or 2 air holes, just little air holes, to make sure that there's enough oxygen in there so when a baby hatches that they are able to breathe. That's not because of the eggs needing ventilation. Yeah. I wish I had a better answer for you, and I do know someone I could possibly ask, and I shall do that next opportunity I get, because that's an excellent question. Where is Robin? That is a very good question. And I don't have an answer for that as well. We are, you know what? I'm kind of hitting 50% here. 50% of the questions I don't have answers for. 50% of the questions I have great answers for. So, you know what? What is that? Batting 1-1. So everybody got to go ahead and ask some more questions, and then we're going to see how I end the evening. I'm ready for it. Now, I'm happy to say I found homes for my Parsons. Very good to see that. Now, wow. Mikey is now using AI to create an STL file for 3D prints. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Wow. All right. James says, going on 60 days after breeding, how long do you think my girl Bifida should start trying to lay eggs? Okay, so James Cross has done the wonderful feat of getting a mating for Furcifer bifidus. Marisita, hi, I have a question. Put it down in the chat, and we'll take a look. and says bifidus should start to try lay eggs. I'm going to say between now and 60 more days. Let's see. You know what? You know what we're going to do? You know what we are going to do? I am going to pull something up here. That's right. That's right. Hang tight. Hang tight. Gonna pull something up. Oops, not that. That's not what I want to bring up. There we go. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a look at the Furcifer bifidus care guide. No, guys. Let's go and see what the gestation is. Oops. Oh, we don't have that on the care guide yet. We don't have breeding on here yet. Uh-oh. Okay, never mind. I would say between, I'm guessing 3 months. 3 months. For some reason, some of those the larger, like the Kaluma, they start to do like 3 to 4 months. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know because we haven't done it. Haven't done it yet. All right. I thought bifiduses were dubbed tuned fork chameleons. I haven't gotten used to saying the tuning fork chameleon. Do you have one for carpets? Let's see. I don't think I have one for carpet chameleons, but carpet chameleons are widely covered. If you go to my videos and podcasts, it's like for at one point every year I had an episode on carpet chameleons, and so you just check that, and you're going to get. There's even a roundtable about carpet chameleons, so there's a lot of information for that. Alicia says, I have a question. Put it down and let's take a look at what you have to ask. All right. Maricita. Since it's been colder, I've noticed my chameleons are eating less and sometimes not eating at all. Is that normal? Yes, that's normal. They are in the house and sometimes during the day, I don't keep the heater on. Could this possibly affect them? Yes, they are very affected by temperature. And if they cool down, they will hunker down and stop eating. So it's directly, there's a direct relationship there. Curated carpet chameleon playlist in the app. Yes. Nate is talking about the new app that I'm getting ready to get out to the beta testers. We'll have playlists. So, Roman, the Uplands is here. Woo! We can carry on now. I keep my heater on for them? Maricita, that all depends on your temperatures. I would say give them a hybrid cage. So don't do the screen. Hybrid cage, block the walls if you have to. Keep a heat lamp on in the cage, so the heat lamp will be their heat spot, and the solid walls, like that one back there, will hold in the heat. So it's not just a heat source; it is a heat area, and that's what I would do. Yeah. All right, Alicia, did we get your question? All right. When I go on vacation, I live in Ohio. I can only use one temp in my house as my daughter-in-law will only be over once a day. 70 for good temp. If you've got one temperature, well, what you could do is make that temperature 68 degrees and then have a heat lamp on timer. And then the chameleon can warm up during the day and they have their own little environment ecosystem. It would be nice to have lower temperatures at the night, but I see the conditions you're under. If it is very cold outside, and you can only have one setting. So, yeah, I'd go down to 68 and then give them a heat lamp so they can have a localized heat. All right. Which chameleon has the longest range of tongue attack? Well, are you talking about relative to their body size or longest range? Longest range, I don't know. Good question. I would assume the Parsons chameleon, a young Parsons chameleon, would have the longest range, but relative to the body, I think the Brady Podian have that. I think Dr. Chris Anderson actually did a study about that. All right. Ohio. Yes, Ohio. What? Oh my gosh. These people. Yeah, we got a lot of Ohioans here, and they cause trouble. Sometimes I have to call security and get them kicked out. Oh. I tell you. All right. Everybody, I got to start packing. I don't mean right here, right this instant, but I got to start getting ready for Madagascar, which means pulling the suitcase out and starting to fit things in. And I got to tell you, when you go to Madagascar, you got to make sure that you can charge all of your stuff at once through one plug. So you got to have your power strip, and you've got to have all the different cables that come off of, and you got to do this strategically because you don't get a whole lot of opportunity to charge stuff there. And so anyway, I'm going to start doing that. James says, wait, you're not packed yet? Well, if you count that I haven't unpacked from this year's trip and I'll just take that same suitcase, I guess I am packed. Simple enough, huh? Geraldine. Oh, Geraldine, are you here? Did Geraldine show up? Did I miss that? Geraldine, if you're here, yeah, I'm going to start packing. Gonna start packing. The thing is, I got to figure out what I want to do for a raincoat or the rain situation. Last trip, I brought this big, bright, purplish parka type thing, which was effective, but boy, I looked like Grimace and people made fun of me. So as to not incur social ridicule, I'm trying to figure out a better way to look. Eliza Ann, how stress you out with this packing nonsense? When do you pack? We're not leaving for, it's over a month away. My suitcase is still sitting in the man cave with stuff in it, just in case. James is packed just in case he's going to be running out the door at the middle of the night going to a Madagascar trip. I love it. That's you know what? That's the kind of thing I want to be prepared for. Who the heck teach you? They all did, Eliza Ann. And looking at it, I did look a little bit ridiculous. I got to. I packed the night before the Utah trip. Okay. I guess you still have time. I don't know. It's like we all have a buffer. Like you get me taking you to the airport, I'm going to get you there at least 2 hours before your plane goes off, at least 3 hours before your plane goes off for international. And if you are there 3 to 4 hours before the plane takes off, I consider that my job well done. I would rather sit in an airport figuring out what to do for 2 hours than have to run through the airport. So we all have buffer things. But I like that you care so much about packing. Still have stuff I need to buy, including a new phone. I just got my phone, and I'm starting to learn about it. It's the new iPhone 14, so that's kind of nice. So, Latu says, I can't wait to see the Madagascar footage. Sounds like, oh, you will see it. You will see a lot. Billy David says, good luck in your field herping, sir. Take care. Thank you very much. And I think, so I pretty much planned that I am going to be posting to the virtual campus and to Instagram stories. So those are going to be my two posting places. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do live sessions. We tried to do live sessions in January this year, and it just didn't work as well as it did the one the time I went before that. So who knows what it's going to look like this time? Both the electricity and the internet in Madagascar is highly variable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you can't necessarily tell what that's going to be like. And if it works, it doesn't mean it's going to work 5 minutes from now. So a lot of adventure there. And like in the last place that we're going to be going, you get full bars for the Wi-Fi, but then you realize the Wi-Fi is not connected to the internet. So too late. Genesis, I'm the one walking to boarding, as they call my section. James says, I was there 4 hours early. Airport wasn't even open. What airport did you go to? Won't do that again. Was this the airport in France? What airport isn't open? You know, I go to LAX. I don't have I don't go to an airport that closes. So, oh, Marcia, you're a late packer too. Poor Eliza Ann. Poor Eliza Ann. Oh. Who is the circle for again? Oh, that is, we're talking about, when we talk about the virtual campus, that's the membership community we've got, and is behind the walls, and we all huddle there and we do Chameleon stuff in secret. LAX is always open. You mean the gate people or the counter people? Maybe that's what you mean. Yeah, the counters don't open until like 3 hours before the plane takes off. Yeah. I meant, who is the circle for? Okay. So when you hear someone talk about the circle, and I talk about the virtual campus, that's actually a membership community. It is where I keep my course, and I'm going to be expanding the courses in the next year. So there'll be courses and there are community forums there. So it's like our insulated community. And the purpose for it is, it's a quieter place from the rest of the internet. It's a place where we can't get shut down like Facebook or any of these other platforms. You can always get shut down. And people have been shut down in the middle of the night. So this is our place that we can rely on, and I can invest in without fear of it shutting down. Now, it does cost money. If you're not paying for it, you're the product. That's that's the way it goes. And so I have to pay for it if I want it to be something that I can rely on. So it is a paid community, but it's for people that want to get closer in on the community, or that just want to support my outreach, like Patreon. It's an opportunity for me to give back a little bit more for the support. But generally speaking, that's where I have my courses. So if you want to learn about how to use a microscope and identify chameleon parasites, you go there. It's the Shire of Middle Earth, aka Paradise. Yes, we like to keep. It's where you're going to find the Illuminati. It's where you're going to find people who take care of each other. It is so this membership community, it's its own platform. I'm going to put a link to it in the comments, and really it's its own platform. It's independent of all these other places, and you go there and you will find we're our own community. So Geraldine says, I usually pack for trips the night before. Never traveled internationally before, though. So I'm planning on packing. Yeah. So the reason why you want to really pack strategically for Madagascar is because they have weight limits on airplanes. And you got to make sure that all of the legs of your journey will accept the same weight. That's the thing, is weight. The dimensions can be an issue. So just make sure with your airplanes that you know what size bags they will allow and what the weight is. That's what kills me all the time. I have to leave things behind because of the weight. But of course, I'm bringing a bunch of like electronics and dog treats and power bars and stuff like that. Bill is a tech geek. Yes, it appears I am. It appears I am. Geraldine, you should pack at least 2 weeks early. Yeah, and actually, Geraldine, it's the reason why I'm starting to pack a month early is because that gives me an opportunity to purchase and have delivered anything I need. I waited my first time to Madagascar. I waited too long, and I realized, wait a minute, I need a headlamp, and it came after I had left. It was not cool. And James says, I was overweight with licorice. I paid extra just to make sure I could take it. Yes, James brought a whole tub of red vines. It was wonderful. We snacked on them the entire trip. But it's things like that that put you over the weight limit, and then you got to pay extra. And the thing is, like, if the second airline has a problem with it, now they shouldn't, but you don't want to be in some foreign. I think I'll have to look, Geraldine. I think you just fly through, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, yeah, take a look at every leg of the journey. I have not. I have heard of the panther gecko from Madagascar. I haven't done much with it. I haven't done anything with it. Let's see. Let's see. I have a 5 newborn Jackson's chameleons, 1 month old. Do you have a video that explains how to care for them, please? I do a lot about how to take care of baby chameleons. And so you go on to my videos, especially my podcast. In fact, episode 2 of the Chameleon Academy podcast is about surprise babies. And I wrote this book that you can get on Amazon, Tiny Dragons. This thing is chock full of information on how to take care of baby chameleons, specifically written for people like you. who gets surprised by Jackson's Chameleons. You can find that on Amazon. Hopefully, and if you're, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, there is an app, but you can also do it on computer, and it's accessible from a laptop as well. Yeah, it'd be great to have you. Jolene says, I looked up the luggage restrictions. Not too worried about them. That's right. That's right. What do they know? I had to choose between a tripod and dog treats for my weight restrictions. Obviously, I choose to bring the dog treats. That was more important for Madagascar. Let's see. Bet some kids are still talking about you walking around with licorice for all of them. Oh yeah, James is iconic. The licorice. There was a lot to do with the licorice and stuff. James says it's great to keep the kids smile. One of my favorite parts of the trip next to the chameleons. Yeah, we did a lot with. We did a lot of interaction with natives there. Sanatope wanted to tell you the green bean is doing fantastic. Oh, hey, that's the Ashonasi. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Oh, whew. All right, everybody. Yeah, there you are, James. There's my woof. 2 minutes to go. Do you have any last questions about chameleons, the community, me, life in general, anything? Put it down. So, any questions? Because I am going to take a drink of the mushroom cup. All right. Spearmint is way up there. Up there right in the fog. Nate is asking, what type of foliage do you see the chameleons in Madagascar, and has it changed how you lay out enclosures now? I see them in all types of foliage, anything from bushes along the sides of the road to the huge trees. And so they are, and then panther chameleons, ocelots chameleons, they are all over the ground and trees and fences. So they're all over everything. Has it changed how you lay out the enclosures now? No. Actually, we do pretty good as far as putting together chameleon enclosures. We've pretty much got it to where it works. There weren't a whole lot of insights about how I should change things. So, all right. Reptile Show reporter. That's tomorrow. That's right. Tomorrow I will be on the Reptile Show reporter. That's the YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Pacific. This is probably the most I've planned for anything in my life. And freak out when something goes wrong. Yeah, well, James isn't coming this time, so it'll probably, I don't know if anything's going to go wrong. We'll see. We'll see. Oh. All right, everybody. We have come to the end of, James says, thanks for showing up. Knew you must have been tired after the 6-hour show, but it's good time as always. Are you just trying to make up for making fun of my fogging? So, So everybody, I want to say thank you very much for joining me here. What a paludarium for carpets. Paludariums are fine as long as you make sure that they can get out of the water if they get in. Chameleons can swim, but they can't climb glass. So that's so. Anyway, thank you all very much for joining me here for this wonderful Tuesday night. I will be here tomorrow. Not here. I will be on the Reptile Show Reporter tomorrow, and we will see you Saturday for the Saturday Chameleon Workshop, right on the Chameleon Academy YouTube Live, our Chameleon Academy Live channel. So I guess I'll just say good night. We'll see you later.